end of the Xbox 360 is only months away. If you didn't know, Microsoft accidentally leaked the closure of the Xbox Marketplace coming in May 2023 inside their very own support pages on the Xbox website. But then a few hours later, they actually retracted that statement, saying it's not true. However, the Xbox community is not convinced, as some games have already started disappearing from the store and the end of the greatest era of gaming feels like it is near. So I thought, why not play the Xbox 360 one last time before it's gone forever? Now, to truly honor the Xbox 360, I've actually gone out and purchased an original Xbox 360 arcade, and hopefully this one doesn't get the red ring of death. Now, I could have easily just used any of the Xbox 360s I already have in the studio, but where would the fun be in that? I've never actually owned an Xbox 360 arcade. The one that I had was the Xbox 360 Elite, and then latterly I had the Halo Reach Slim. That's in immaculate condition. Is this brand new or something? You have got to be kidding me. No way. So the Xbox 360 arcade didn't have any form of extra storage on it. It was literally just internal storage of about 256 megabytes, which is tiny, just enough for your game save. But obviously back in the day on the Xbox 360, all of the games could be played directly off of the disc because they were significantly smaller than what we have to download today. You know, the discs are basically just a redemption code for us to download a load of stuff off of the internet on our newer consoles. Now, I did purchase this Xbox 360 used, and it was only £80. And the condition of this thing is immaculate. You could have convinced me that this is brand new. It's got all of the original stickers still in place, and for a 2009 console that's white, there isn't a single stain on the white plastic. It looks pristine. I'm not gonna lie, we were super lucky here with this OG Xbox. I've bought a lot of Xbox 360s over the last year or so. My Xbox 360E was in awful condition and stopped working after a few weeks. Some of the slim models that I own are pretty good, but I think the Star Wars edition does need a refurbish and a clean, as it runs way too loud and makes this weird beeping alarm sound every so often. The Xbox 360 was Microsoft's most successful console generation ever, selling 84 million units, which is pretty respectable. And even though I get accused of being an Xbox fanboy in the YouTube comment section, very few of you actually know that I started gaming on a PlayStation. When I was a kid, I shared a PS2 with my brother, and then later got my very own PS3 at launch around Christmas time in 2006, I think. And it wasn't until 2009 when I finally got my very first Xbox. I'd been gaming for years up until this point. And my first few games were FIFA 10 and Forza 3, one of my all-time favorite racing games. I played this so much that I almost completed it and got all of the achievements in this game. I got like 48 out of 50. And it still bugs me to this day that I never did. And boy, did I try. Xbox Live was a game changer for me. For the first time in my life, I was experiencing the true power of the internet and online gaming, hopping on with friends in the school holidays and just playing games non-stop. The fact that all of the Xbox 360s came included with a free party chat headset, 14-day free trial of Xbox Live Gold, and also the consoles were much cheaper than the PS3s. It meant that gaming was much more accessible to even more households. And the Xbox party chat system opened up a whole new world of socializing. Unlike on the PS3, you could still talk with your friends even if you were not playing the same game as each other. The Xbox 360 also allowed for you to have up to 8 people in a single party chat session, and things used to get crazy inside of here. Sometimes an Xbox party chat was better than seeing your friends in person. Now, Halo 3 was probably my first ever proper game that I played that had a complete storyline that you could play through, and also further multiplayer elements. Heck, even having the option to play a single-player story game in co-op with my friends online just blew my mind. And the Xbox 360 impacted my life so much that I did not buy a game on my PS3 until The Last of Us in 2013. That was almost over 4 years of not regularly using a PlayStation, and it quickly became a Blu-ray player. And I think this is why I have a special attachment to the Xbox 360. I'd only ever used PlayStation consoles and Nintendo stuff like the Wii and DS, and this 360 managed to captivate me in a way no video game console ever had before. Now, after my parents realized that I could handle shooting games and I wasn't going to start smashing up the house, I was finally allowed to purchase Call of Duty. And my first COD was Black Ops 1. Then I picked up Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 1, and I was hooked. And between you and I don't think any modern Call of Duty in the last 10 years has came anywhere near close to those old titles. So this is the list of around 46 games that have already been removed from the Xbox 360 store. And there are some great titles on here. Assassin's Creed 4, Assassin's Creed 3, Counter-Strike Go, Daytona USA, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, Splinter Cell Conviction, and Call of Duty Ghosts. Well, maybe not Ghosts.
Our new dog model.
But probably the most interesting ones are the Left 4 Dead games. Although they are supported on Xbox backwards compatibility, they are not downloadable on the new Xbox store for the Series S and X and Xbox One, which is strange, as Microsoft said in their statement that this list of games that are being removed would still be available on the newer consoles if supported by them. So this means unless you had already purchased Left 4 Dead on your Xbox account, then you have no way of downloading it digitally. So you'll have to go out and find a disc version, which is exactly what I decided to do. do. In my local town, there is this store called Sex, the Sex Store. I prefer to use the name CX to avoid confusion. Inside of this shop, there is everything you could ever wish for regarding used video games. It's like a time machine for nostalgia of my childhood. The greatest games ever made can be found in here, all priced up super cheap, other than this one. While I was here, I bought some of the best games from the Xbox 360 generation to see if they were as good as I remember.
So it turns out that this Xbox 360 is way rarer than I actually first thought. It's still running the Blade dashboard, which is like one of the original Xbox operating systems. You can't get this anymore. So if we were to connect this to the internet, we would lose this forever. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to create ourselves a brand new profile on the Blade dashboard. Man, this is such a throwback. Now, according to our settings, we are in 2005. It's November 2005. I'd take that. I would love to go back to being 5 years old. So we could recover my gamer tag with like a USB stick, but we won't do that today. And because it's 2005, will be Ben 2005. How do we customize the avatar? I can't remember how to use the Blades dashboard. My brother still runs this. He has a really old Xbox. Oh no, we gotta be on the internet to make an avatar. Well, this is a scam. So I think it's time to play some games. In my bag of goodies, I've got some pretty sick titles. But I think we've got to start where it all began for me, Forza 3. Oh, I forgot this game had 2 discs. Content install and playing. Oh, damn. I hope we got enough space on the internal storage. Now, because we aren't connected to the internet, this does mean that we will have none of the patch versions of any of these games, which will basically mean we can play the raw original version that launched, which means we will be able to find some little glitches and things like that. Whoa, why is it showing a video? What's this? Let's put the install disc in first then. Please insert disc 1. I just inserted disc 1. What's it on about? Yes, turn 10. Come on. Oh, the Audi R8. This is so iconic back in the, like, sort of 2010s, wasn't it? This was the car to have. Oh, that music. That's hitting hard. Do we get to drive here? I can't remember whether anything happens. Here we go, baby. Whoa. This feels amazing. This game is still so good. Oh, wow. No wonder I played this as a kid as my only game. Holy moly. Oh, achievement 5G. Oh, why am I in reverse? What the heck? I thought we were in manual gear shifts. Some of the newer racing games, like Gran Turismo 7, is so hard with a controller on the PS5. This is fantastic with a controller, which makes it dead accessible. There were so many people that could play this. I had a steering wheel. I was that, like, loud fancy kid with the steering wheel. But whether you had the steering wheel or not, you could still be competitive and play with your friends, whereas like even F1 2021 and all that type of stuff, so hard with the controller. So I guess probably the next ultimate test is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I was raving on about how old Call of Duties were good, and I want to see how the character movement and things has aged. Has it aged with grace, or will I think cancel sliding is still the way to go? Oh, I remember this. You used to have to like set your resolution manually because like some people had HD tellies, some people didn't. Right, so if I remember right, if you pressed LTRT, you could break out this chair, right? Yes! Oh, we got another achievement, 15G for Ben Rowlands 2005. And then you could run around. I remember when my mate showed me this, and I thought he was like lying. I was like, no, it won't work. And it blew my mind. And you could run around. And I seem to remember the room being bigger than this. It's a little bit anticlimactic. Just a little tiny room. Can you go out here? Oh, I remember running around like some massive map. Then you could go over to some computer, right? I'm pretty sure you could play like some game. Yeah, if you would type some password in, I'm pretty sure, and you could play like some arcade game. Oh, all these different maps. Oh, wow. Villa. That was the first game. I've got my first ever kill in a Call of Duty multiplayer game was on Villa. I hold it dear in my heart. Oh, this is great. This was the first Call of Duty. I'm probably actually the only Call of Duty where I prestiged. And then I instantly regretted prestiging because I like lost all my weapons and camos. And yeah, cool. I got a cool icon, but I was like, well, this is a bit rubbish. And I had to like rebuild all my stuff back up. It wasn't as good as I anticipated. It was a little bit anticlimactic. A little bit like this nosedive. What FPS is this running at? It feels really good. I killed this. How? How? What did they expect to happen? The resolution's that low. I can't see what's going on. Oh, that explosion looked awful. No ray tracing there. Oh, no. Are we going to drive? Does this game have driving? No way. The textures on the car interior are a little low. Oh, wow. Are we going to zip line? No way. So we've driven a car, we've shot some civilians, and now we're zip lining. Oh, there's rock music. And we haven't even had to pay for a microtransaction yet. Whoa. Stealthy. Stealthy does it. Sneaky deaky. What? My controller disconnected in like the most pivotal point. So there are still some games obviously available that you can purchase on the store, but they're really expensive. $24.99. Like you could get this for about £2 on a disc. So I can't really see anyone buying things on the store, which kind of makes sense as to why Microsoft is closing it down potentially in May. So right now you can go ahead and buy and download things just like normal, but after then, they're going to basically stop these digital purchases. You'll still be able to download them if you'd already purchased them for a period of time until they absolutely shut down the console. But I guess no one's using the store, so there's no like complaint really for them closing it down, other than the free-to-play games that are quite fun and the arcade games that you can only get on the store digitally. That's the only thing we're kind of losing out on. Because, for example, if we head into these Call of Duty games, let's see how much Call of Duty Black Ops is digitally. Bearing in mind, we just purchased it for £5 on a disc. Man, this is so slow. It's like extra suspense with how slow these loading times are.
One eternity later.
I'm still waiting. It's literally quicker to go to the shop that we just went to, buy it on disc, and come back. But wait for this to load.
A few moments later.
Hey, $24.99. There we go. There we go, $24.99 for Call of Duty Black Ops on the Xbox 360 digitally, or £5 on a disc. So I understand why they're basically going to close down this store, because who's buying these games? Now, something I really enjoy doing from time to time is actually going back and looking at my entire game catalog for a bit of a throwback as to some of the games I played. But you can see the last time you played some of these titles that you completely forgot about. Like the last time I played GTA 5 on my Xbox 360 was 2014, just basically before they released that next-gen version for the Xbox One. And if we scroll back here, you can see some of the Kinect games I was playing in 2013. Can you also remember during the era of the Kinect games, even like random games that would never need Kinect support had it? Ghost Recon Future Soldier was apparently better with the Kinect. FIFA as well also had a Kinect feature where if you like swore too much in manager mode, you would like get penalized and like sacked from the team and things. It was crazy. Literally every single game had some form of Kinect integration and claimed that it was better with the Kinect. Whether that was true or not is a different debate. There we go, Call of Duty Black Ops. Last time I played it was 2012. I was 12 years old, and today I'm 23 years old when I'm filming this video.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel for more videos just like this. And if you want to see me compare every single Xbox against every single PlayStation, you should check out this video next.